How about a round of applause for all the co-op workers who make sure we get power when we need it? These are hard-working folks. 75 years ago this co-op started. I'm sure Strom was here to get it kicked off. You know, he was a young man back then. But to the Board of Trustees, to the people who make it run and make it run efficiently, how about a round of applause for our board members? Thank you very much to each and every one of you. And Gary, you run a good outfit here. I've been coming down to the Aiken Co-op for years. Lou, the co-ops in South Carolina make sure that rural people have power at an affordable rate. Just think of what it was like 75 years ago, how life has changed. A lot for the better, sometimes not so much. But I just want to let you know from a Washington point of view, when the co-ops speak, your delegation listens. We're going to make sure that the co-ops have another 75 years. And every dollar the federal government's invested in the co-ops, they've never missed one payment. There's a lot of money being misspent in Washington, but when it comes to the co-ops, it's a good investment for the taxpayer. And we're going to keep it up. Having a relationship between the federal government and the co-ops makes sure that your power is affordable and available in areas it wouldn't be without the co-ops. The biggest beneficiary of the electric co-ops, and that is true today. Now, from my point of view, this is not just any day. This is Armed Services Day. All of you have been recognized, but let me tell you, after many trips to Iraq and Afghanistan, you have the best military the country's ever generated in the history. So a round of applause for all those men and women on active duty today. They're doing one heck of a job, and we've got Congressman Wilson. Joe Wilson is wherever three people are gathered, you're going to find Congressman Wilson. But I want to tell you a little bit about Joe. He has 4 sons, and all of them are in the military, every one of them. Thank you, Joe. Thank you very, very much. I'm the only thing between you and winning this tractor, and I'll have the IRS give you a call. Are you ready for the IRS to be reformed and put in its place? Yeah, me too. One final thought about Armed Services Day. I've been on the Armed Services Committee ever since I've been in Congress, House, and now the Senate. The first thing we should get right at the federal level is the budget for the military. And I'm very much worried about the defense cuts that we're entering into. We're going to cut $600 billion out of the military at a time when the world's getting very dangerous. Now, there's ways to cut the budget, but you can't destroy the military. There is no Social Security without national security. Ladies and gentlemen, the threats we face today are very real. Radical Islam is on the rise. What you saw in Boston, that could be our future. We need to get ready to fight these guys over there so we don't have to fight them here. That's why it's important that we stand by our friends in Israel. I will do everything I can working with Congressman Wilson to make sure the Iranians never get a nuclear weapon. If that happens, ladies and gentlemen, our way of life is very much at risk. How many of you believe we have an obligation to stand by our friends in Israel? I do. God's going to bless this country as long as we understand the unique relationship that God has with the state of Israel. So in conclusion, as we move forward and try to embrace the next 75 years, I will make a prediction to you. For rural South Carolina to continue to grow, the co-ops are going to be more important than ever because times are changing. And if you want to get companies to come to South Carolina in the rural parts, they got to have affordable and available power. So the co-ops are just as necessary today as they were 75 years ago. And as to those who are serving in the military, it's been 10, 12 years of a long, hard struggle. All of us, 1% serve, the 99% of us reap the benefits. Let's make a commitment today, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of this year and for every year to come. Let's keep those men and women in our prayers, because without them, the ability to join together to worship God the way we would like, to go out and enjoy ourselves and to speak our minds would be lost. So ladies and gentlemen, God bless those who wear the uniform of the United States, and God bless America.